I started grasping this love from God. And so when I started preparing for tonight, the only better book to explain love is the book of Song of Songs. And that's where I'm going to start us out tonight. It's about, before I read it and go into it, it's about a love and his lover. And like God is our lover and we are his love. And so I'm going to pick it up. It's on, yeah, the screen's good, John. In chapter 5, verse 2, it says, the love's talking. She says, I slept but my heart was awake. Listen, my lover is knocking. And the lover responds, open to me, my sister or my brother. My darling, my love, my flawless one. And the love responds like this. She says, my head is drenched with dew, my hair with the dampness of night. I have taken off my robe and put it, I have taken off my robe, must I put it on again? I've already washed my feet, must I soil them again? And some of you are probably thinking, well, okay, what's that mean? But to me, God, he is knocking on every single one of our doors. And he's saying, hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Answer the door. Come on. Open up. I want you to be part of your life. I want to come in and know everything about you. I already do. Just open it up. And we sit there so many times. I know I did. The door is knocking. God was saying, let me in, Jess. And I said, no, God, I'm too comfortable right here. I've already gotten ready for bed. I've already put my PJs on. Why the heck would I open the door, God? And you're sitting there too. You're thinking, you hear it. You come in here every Wednesday night and you hear God knocking and you say, no, God, I don't want any of that. I'm not opening my door for you because I don't trust you. Because I walked through life for so long not trusting God every time he knocked on my door. I remember as I was preparing for this, I thought of 4 things that really stuck out and why it held me back from opening the door every time God knocked. And I remember when I was a young girl, my dad was always in and out of jail. It was either because he was selling drugs that put him in there or he was beating someone up to nearly death. And I don't know why he keeps getting out, but he keeps going right back in. And I grew up in that. I remember my dad would get so angry at me that he would pull me by my hair and drag me into the room and I would have carpet burns on my back. He would feed me NyQuil so that I would sleep so he could go do his drug deals at night. And I thought, okay, God, you're knocking on my door. How the heck can you use me? I'm a byproduct of this anger and this violence. My dad does mean things and he throws me in the car and we run from the cops together. I can't do anything from you, so God, just stop knocking on my door. Or when I was 9 years old, I was just going down the street to play with my friends. And I got there, and I saw my best friend's dad holding a gun to his head in his vehicle. I saw him pull the trigger, and he killed himself. And I saw the family running out, and I stood there at 9 years old, watching someone take their own life. God, stop knocking on my door. Thought you were supposed to protect me. Thought you were supposed to be there for me, and you're going to let me see this at night? Stop knocking on my door. Leave me alone. I don't want you, God. But he keeps saying, hey, Jess, I want you. I don't want you to see those things. Come on, just open the door, Jess. I got you. I remember sitting in that church service at 21, and they kept saying God's a giver, not a taker. But the God I knew took, because when I was 16, 3 of my best friends, I was with them the night. We stayed the night together. They left in the car. I was about to leave a few minutes after them. And the next phone call I got was an 18-wheeler hit them. And 3 of my best friends that I went to school with, that I cheered with, that I was just with that night. At 16, God took them. God, you're not a giver, you're a taker. They were 16 years old. They were your age. And they were already gone before their life could ever even get started. No, God, stop knocking. Stop knocking on my flipping door. I don't want you. Leave me alone. And then I was 19. Just getting out of a relationship that was mentally and physically abusive. He busted all the windows out of my car. I was in the same situation that my mom desperately got out of, because that's exactly what my dad did to my mom. He would slap her, he would beat her. I remember seeing that at such a young age. And then now I'm in it. So when I finally got the courage to get out of it, I ran to drugs, I ran to alcohol, I ran to all my friends, and I got to party it up. And I thought that was going to fill me. Until one night I got myself in a situation and laid down with some random dude and got pregnant at 19 years old. And I knew when I went home, I knew my mom was going to be pissed. Come on, I'm 19. I knew she was going to be mad, but I never thought she was going to respond because my mom was always my rock. It was my dad that hurt me, it was the people around me that hurt me, but not my mom. I could trust her. So I walked in the house, and hey, Mom. I told her the news, and she slapped me, and she said, how dare you even come in here and say that to me? Everything that I brought you out of, I divorced your dad, I got you out of those situations, I provided a life for you. I had to work so hard. You were always in and out of daycare, Jess. Do you really want to bring your kid into that? Do you want to raise your kid like I raised you? You don't even know the father. You think your dad was bad. You don't even know who this guy is. You're going to raise your daughter or your son just the same way that you were raised. No, you're not doing that. You're going to have an abortion. I'm taking you now. And it took about 2 or 3 weeks for her to finally convince me. I was broken. I was scared. I was lonely. I was desperate. I needed someone to help me. And where's the church at, God? Where's that knock, remember? So I walked in to the clinic and I had the procedure. I had an abortion. Now, couldn't blame my dad what I've gone through or the people around me. Now I could only blame myself. Now I'm a murderer. Now I am a sinner. Now I've taken a very life. There's no more blaming it on someone else. Here I am. Here I am the sinner. But you know what? God never stopped knocking. When I was 21, I was sitting in that seat and the knock got louder and louder. He was saying, Jess, I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you did. I don't care what you're going to do. I love you. Please open the door. Come on. Get up and open it. And I love this story that I was telling you about because the lover kept knocking. And she answers finally. She said, my lover thrust his hand through the latch opening, and my heart began to pound for him. As I was sitting in that seat at 21, and I was in the church, and my heart started beating for the first time. Again, there was life. I could finally feel something that I've never felt before because there was death always all around me, ever since I was a little kid. For the first time, I could feel the life pounding, and I was coming back to life. And there's some of you tonight, you're sitting there, and you're feeling something because you've either seen, or you've gone through, or you're walking down the road that's going to lead you exactly where I was. But tonight, you're feeling your heart moving for the first time. You're starting to believe that this God that we always talk to you about maybe could be real for you too. That it doesn't matter what you come from or what you're going to go through, that this God loves you so much. But it goes on. She finally goes to the door and she opens it. And he's not there. The lover left, it says. So she goes running out into the streets. She's like, where's my God? Where's my lover at? He's been here the whole time. Now where did he go? And I love it. It's such a beautiful story. It says that she remembered, she stopped and she remembered that her lover was waiting in the garden. And some of you may not even know this word. You may not even know you were created, that God, when he first created the creation, he created you in a garden to walk in the cool of the day with him, to walk in peace and wholeness. He wanted to have a relationship with you. He just wanted to hang out in some simple garden with you. He didn't want you to go through the things you went through. He didn't want you to see the things that you've seen. He didn't want you to become what your parents are, but he wants you to be whole and complete and full in him. That's that garden she knew her lover was in. And it was just like me. I got the chance to run back to the garden. I'm whole and complete now. I can stand here and not even shed a tear, and that's a miracle. Because before, I was so in shame of what I've done that I couldn't even hold my head high. I was ashamed of what I came from, but now I don't even care because I'm part of the kingdom. That no matter what I've done, Jesus walked, he carried the cross, and he died on it for me. No matter how great my sin is, he took it. And guess what? He took your sin. No matter how great it is, no matter what you've come from or what you've ever going to do, he loved you that much. Sam, are you playing the keys? Can we get on that? That'd be awesome. Thanks. But yeah, tonight you have the opportunity. God is knocking. He is banging at your door. He wants you to answer it. He wants you to take this moment, no matter what you've done, and say, God, I don't care. I don't care if I have to get back dressed. I'm going to answer the door for you. I want you, and I want all of you. I just want you to bow your heads and just take a moment to really think. Some of you, your history's bad. The things that your parents have done, you're ashamed of. The things that you witnessed, you wish you wouldn't have. But tonight, listen to the knock. Let your heart come back alive. Let this be a moment that you'll never forget. I don't remember that moment at all when I was 21. When I finally got enough guts to walk to the front and let God radically change me. I really was his history, and in a flash, I'm his story, all the way here in New York City. If you want to answer the door, if you want to go back to a place of peace and wholeness with God and let him transform you, come. Let these people here at Yogi Bear take your hand and walk you through it. That's what changed me. It took someone taking my hand and making me realize everything that I've seen and gone through wasn't okay. It wasn't normal. And they taught me the ways of God. So if you want to make that decision tonight, if you want to come down here for a prayer, stand up, rise to your feet, let the door open to God.